evening, everyone. Welcome back to Discordant Dragons. Tonight is the 242nd episode in this long-running stream series. I have a couple of people who you all will love coming back to the stream, and of course, my co-host 3 of 12 is with us tonight. My other guest couldn't make it and had to reschedule, but that's fine. There are more days in the year. The only housekeeping that I have to take care of, two things. Remember, I want to have enough people interested in my October camping trip to make it happen. Thus far, I have only received one email of someone wanting to definitely come to the camping trip. I need more than that to make it happen. The camping trip is the second or third weekend in October in East Tennessee, just off of Interstate 81. Let me know if you would like to come spend the weekend with us, having a good old American fun time, shooting guns, cooking burgers, having a fun time around the campfire. It's a great time. If that appeals to you, reach out, let me know, and confirm that you will come. It doesn't cost you anything other than getting yourself here. I provide everything except ammo. You got to bring your own ammo if you want to shoot with us. We'll have, some extra 22 and stuff, but that's that. If you want to come have that kind of fun with us here in East Tennessee, please let me know, and let me know with enough time ahead to where I can make it all happen. Number two, I am going to start streaming video games regularly, at least once a week, maybe twice a week. Starting tomorrow, I am going to be playing through the entirety, segment by segment, of the original OG Biohazard. I'm going to play through, hopefully by the end of the year, all three of the OG Biohazard games released in America as Resident Evil. I'm going to play through all of those multiple ways, and I just love those games, and I need practice streaming video games for when I launch my new gaming channels. So that will start tomorrow. We'll start a couple of hours before Artie and Fist, so if you are a listener and fan of Artie and Fist, don't worry, my stream time will not overlap with theirs, because I too love Artie and Fist, and will be there in the chat tomorrow night. So a couple of hours before that, maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock Eastern time, come hang out with me and watch me play the original Biohazard. All right. That's enough with the shilling. Let's get on with the stream with the featured guest for the evening, Mr. Pomen, returning again. Welcome back, sir.
Well, hello. Well, I'm glad to be back.
Glad you are here. It's been a while. It's been a few months since you've been here, I think.
I think before summer started, I was here. But
Indeed.
It's always fun because you usually bring on interesting co-guests and other people, and I learn something every time. Which is
well, speaking of interesting guests, unfortunately, I only have Ardent Pardy with us tonight.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I am in fact the Appalachian on hard mode. So if I was going to bring ammo, it would be rocks. So.
Oh, hey, we have an intro appreciator here. Let's see. Somebody said, it's No Names. Crazy good intro. Always late, never see. Yeah, my friend Lomax made that for me. As you can tell, he's a professional 3D video editor engineer guy, and he actually donated that to me. He didn't even charge me for that. He built that awesome intro just for me because he likes me in my streams, and I'm very appreciative of his great work. So he does work, by the way. If any of you need professional video editing, video creation with music and stuff, he's very good at that. You can find him at Lomax Designs, and the link to his work and how to contact him is in my description if you're interested in having him make something for you. So with that being said, I took a fun shot at Ardent Party because he enjoys self-deprecating humor. But yes. Rounding out the party tonight is 3 of 12. Welcome, sir.
Well, I mean, I'm not really a guest here. I kind of just live here now. I just assimilated the place. Sorry, I turned your bathroom into an alcove.
Oh, that's okay. I wasn't really using it anyway. like a real Tennessean, I piss outside. So,
outhouse for the Browns.
Yeah, Ben's been around a long time. He remembers before there even was an intro. Yeah, that was years ago.
Oh my God!
All right, so tonight we have a usual stream about usual topics. Let's go ahead and pull up the branding here, and we will get started. The red dragon has war never ending. The green dragon has what you voted for, which is a topic. The black dragon has gentlemen, I regret to inform you. The white dragon has ancient anniversary ashes, very interesting. And the blue dragon has big brother bashing. The blue dragon and the white dragon are both technology topics tonight, 3 of 12, so keep that in mind.
Ooh, okay.
Now, for who, Pomen, you were the party leader the last time you were here, if memory serves me correct, yes?
Well, yes. This time I don't have
our leader for a change, because he almost never is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was actually going to nominate 3, but sure, I'll take the job.
No, three is the co-host, the party leader. That's the rules.
Hammond!
By seniority.
All right, so Ardent, you know the drill. You either pick a dragon or nominate a party member to pick a dragon, and whoever picks it first is the first one who has to answer the dragon's question after we watch a video or read from the article. So, Mr. Ardent Party, what will be first, sir?
Well, I suspect I know what gentleman I regret to inform you is, so I will actually nominate myself for that one.
Okay, we're starting with the black dragon then, yes?
Yes, indeed.
All right. We will go to the Daily Mail for this. The Daily Mail. Hundreds of female Lindsay Clancy supporters crash murder trial, some carrying babies. Support goes wild for postpartum killer mom and turns very dark when it comes to her husband, Patrick. A roar of cheers and claps erupted from the sea of pink supporters as a sheriff's department van carrying Lindsay Clancy rolled past. For those of you who may live under a rock and haven't heard, a couple of years ago, Lindsay murdered all 3 of her children and claimed postpartum, but evidence sort of suggests she was kind of a psycho and planned it by orchestrating an event to get her husband out of the house. This woman's a murderer, whether she was postpartum depression or not. She murdered all 3 of her children. Trial is happening right now. So, around 400 women in shades of pink gathered in some 6-year-old defendant sitting in a wheelchair behind its blacked out windows in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Some drove overnight from New York. Others traveled 7 hours from Maine to attend what is being dubbed America's saddest trial. All were there to rally behind the mom of 3, well, ex-mom of 3 now, on trial for strangling all 3 of her children, Cora 5, Dawson 3, and newborn Callan, those of a mental health crisis. For Michelle, who attended with a friend and their 3 small children, Clancy's story hit close to home. The healthcare failed her. And that's just, we're both mothers and both experience postpartum anxiety and depression. Are your children? No, you probably didn't. It's scary to speak out. You don't want to get judged, and you don't want somebody to take your child. You don't want someone to take your child, so you can't kill it. Very interesting. Her friend Mary added, we want this. Well, yeah, that would be nice if you lunatics would stop wanting to advocate for murdering your children. Let's move on. Clancy has already admitted that she strangled her children with exercise bands in the basement of her family home in Massachusetts, but her defense team argued she did not of her actions because she was suffering from psychosis. Postpartum psychosis is an extremely rare condition that affects about 0.1% of new mothers. Prosecutors, however, claimed that Clancy carefully planned the January 2023 killings, 3 years ago, not 2, killings, and contrived to get her husband out of the house so she could carry them out. Court officers put up yellow caution tape around the parking lot in the morning in anticipation of the crowds. When Daily Mail arrived at 6:45 a.m., there were already 40 gathered, and soon that number ballooned tenfold. There were mothers, daughters, grandmothers, and sisters. Some brought their children. Others came with husbands, male relatives, and friends. Bright pink ribbons were handed out, while others wore Team Lindsay and Mental Health Matters shirts and pins reading the Kevin Reddington Fan Club, referencing Clancy's defense attorney. Court staff had been warned that as many as 2,000 people could attend, while large swaths of the public remained convinced Clancy is guilty and should face the consequences. Everyone the Daily Mail spoke to outside the court was firmly in the camp of Clancy. Several women said that they felt they could have been Clancy. Many struggled with postpartum depression or anxiety and said the mother of 3's experience of reaching out for help only to feel unsupported was painfully familiar. It could have been any of us, one of them said. I think people are here as mothers because we feel what she felt at times. It sounds like how most women I know would have felt at one time or another. I don't think most women want to strangle their children to death. I don't think that's true. All right. Anyway. The Black. The Black with us tonight is a powerful necromancer who kept himself alive for millennia via the magic of unlife. While many cultures have tribes, cults, or schools of magic devoted to understanding death, it's rare to see one that celebrates death, let alone the death of its own healthy children. He chose this story to ask us this. Ardent Pardy, it comes to you first. Why are so many women sympathetic to this murderer? What led to this sensational phenomenon, and how can it be addressed or fixed?
Oh, I can't believe how sick some of the people in that crowd are. I thought it peaked when I saw them making that circular gesture with their hands over their heads.
Mm-hmm.
But why are so many women sympathetic to this murderer? I don't want to say it's because they want to have they want to avoid accountability, but it feels like they want to avoid accountability.
Right.
At no point can you say that someone who chooses to strangle a second child is experiencing a psychotic episode. You could almost excuse it the first time. Maybe she snapped and something took hold of her. But then I hear about these elastic resistant bands. Okay, no, I'm sorry. That was premeditated from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone the fact that she sent the husband away. So this feels like all of these women are simply optics farming. For the life of me, I can't figure out why they would be sympathetic to this. I keep recalling the words of Nick Freitas's wife, Tina, and she said, look, I can kind of understand that you're very hormonal, that you're on a bunch of different drugs, and your mind was messed up. But that said, it still doesn't mean you shouldn't get the death penalty for doing this, because this is all clearly premeditated. And the second part of this is probably a little easier to explain. Not that any of this is easy to explain, but I think the bandwagoning aspect of this is because women now are seeing a cause where, oh, this poor oppressed woman, this hard done by mother by the system, who clearly had no help at home, except that she had a husband who was clearly doting enough that she had to get rid of him in order to kill these children. How can it be addressed or fixed? I hate to say it because I despise the religion, but I think Islam might be right. We at some point we need to start telling women, look, maybe you shouldn't have any agency if this is the way you're going to exercise it. Maybe we need to start looking at, yeah, exactly, man. No man will be cut such slack. Absolutely true.
Broken clock.
Yeah. Now, from what I understand, and it was in the video, she did try to, I guess I'll use the word sewer slide afterwards, because she, one would assume, felt guilty. I would probably think it was more a case of not wanting to be punished for her actions. But to see so many women, what was it, 40 that showed up initially, and then it went up to something like 400.
It ended up being around 500, yeah.
Bloody hell. I can't for the life of me understand how there are 500 women in a crowd cheering on a multiple murderer of her own children. Hi, Teabag. The thing that's throwing me more than anything else is every now and again I'll hear someone say, well, if the husband was a better father, this wouldn't have happened. Or if the doctors, the medical system had been dealing with her properly, it wouldn't have happened. No, I'm sorry. If you want women to have their own agency, then you also have to realize that when they use it badly, they do deserve to be punished for it. And there is no way in hell, if she had to chase down the last one to strangle, I would assume it was the oldest and therefore a girl. If you have to chase down your own child to kill them, there is no way in hell there's no way you don't belong in hell, and you should probably be sent there via express post.
As quickly as possible.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know how to fix it other than to punish her to the fullest possible extent of the law. And in this case, I'm guessing death penalty is probably off the table.
It's Massachusetts, so probably. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think they execute there.
Pussies.
Yeah, it'll probably just be life in a mental ward for her.
Well, this is unfortunately the other side of that, is that if she does get sentenced to a mental ward rather than actual prison, she may get out. And that is terrifying.
I have a meme for
Anyway.
that later.
Yeah, I'm done, so you can pass it on to someone else now.
All right. Pomen, 3 of 12. What do you guys think?
Well, it feels weird to say. I'm gonna play a little bit devil's advocate, but at the same time, no, what she did was horrible. There's no excusing that. But when it comes to the larger crowd, again, I mean, just the act itself is quite bad. But have any of you dealt with a woman with postpartum trauma after?
No, I have not. And
Not
to my
personally, no.
knowledge, none of the women in my family who've given birth had postpartum. So
That's good.
I have
That's
not
good.
had to experience it personally in my life.
Trust me, it's bad. It's pretty bad. So a very common thing within, I don't know how many, I actually can look up a statistic on this, but
The statistic is 1 in 1,000. 1 in 1,000. It says 0.1% is the tracked rate of postpartum depression.
That's not a lot. All right. Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
but
1 in 1,000 is quite a lot. I mean, that's
okay.
a lot
Sure,
of people.
sure.
It's
Yeah,
enough to form crowds like that.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
You see.
But a very common thing with postpartum is that you want to kill your children. It's happens all the time. Usually they strangle them with pillows, so they stop screaming or crying. It's quite common. Or thrown out the window, whatever they do. Usually, this is also a failure of the medical. What's it? The mother. They have not enough nurses to help during childbirth. America is obviously very costly, so it's hard to have that assistant.
Mhm.
But you're supposed, when you have that, it's very clear that you usually have a very traumatic response. You're supposed to have a assistance and sometimes even have the babies or children taken away from you, or be away from your own children if possible, for a while. But obviously there was just a bunch of miscommunication. The father didn't, I mean, he should have known. But, you love you, trust your wife. You don't think they're going to do the worst thing, but especially with that type of trauma, they do. And it takes different forms of it, but it always destroys the family, pretty much always.
Yeah.
Every woman I've met who has faced it after childbirth, they're not together with the partner anymore. They literally destroy everything, and to what level the post-traumatic stress is really hard, because we also live in a society that doesn't blame women.
Yeah.
As we kind of notice with this thing, more or less saying that women are always good mothers, women are always good caretakers, they can take care of the children. The father doesn't need to be part of the children's life, especially early on, but the mother always do. Obviously they do because of breastfeeding, but it also gives the mother such an upper hand where she can harm the children. For example, there's a case now I'm dealing with. There is no sign of harm, but trauma is there. Post-traumatic stress disorder is there. And the question becomes, like I said pretty much very, very quickly, you should take full custody of the kids if you could at this point. Remove your kids from her. But it's like, yeah, but the child is just a month or a few months old. It's like, what can you do? Yes, breastfeeding is a factor, Billy. It's especially when they're that young. It's really sad. But it's a failure of the medical system of not seeing the red flags, because red flags are there.
In this specific case, Pomen, there's something you should know.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's the details that are coming up in the case is that she was showing serious signs of being capable of doing this before it happened. Like you mentioned, being the husband, you assume,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's just a down point. She's not actually going to do it. she's just having a bad day,
Yeah, and
etc.,
also,
etc.
you always want to hope for the best and see the best in your husband or your wife. Like you don't
Yeah.
want to think that they're capable of doing something like that.
Right. You don't assume your wife's going to do it.
Yeah.
And so some of those women that are like protesting are blaming the husband for not taking her to an asylum. Well, or at least the more sensible ones are saying that. And I'm like, okay, so that's not how that works. Personal responsibility is about what you have to take responsibility for your own mental health. You need to take responsibility for your own actions. And the person who commits the murder is the person who's guilty.
100%. I mean, but it's also, that's sort of a thing I've argued quite a lot, because it's a complicated thing when it comes to law, when it comes to autonomy of your own body. Because at one point, do you lose the autonomy? If you, in postpartum cases, women aren't forced into psychiatric wards. They should. Like it should be easier for your husband, for example, if you're married, to
I think
put
you're
you
right.
in an asylum if he finds out that it's small cases. But that has been stigmatized. You know, the movie saying like, "Oh, my woman didn't cook me dinner, so I put him in the side." That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's how they frame it, to give women more autonomy when they're having these mental breaks. And I'm not talking about, like, as we talk about, majority of cases this does not happen. Women are great mothers, but there are cases where this can happen.
I think honestly that's the only way that we can preserve the female autonomy of women that are actually trustworthy, is if we make it easy to deal with women that can't be trusted with it.
I agree. More checks, more power to the husband, and a few other things like that. But it's very mother dominated.
Yes, Ben. Ben, this is exactly what I had to explain to my European women friends.
Yeah, we need psycho back in general. Yeah, we do, and they need to get better. Like every single thing about majority of murder cases that are not by foreigners is usually mental illness, and it's usually psychiatric and like wards or other things failing, because they see the patterns before they arrive, before the act, before it's done, and they don't do anything.
There's another excuse me. There's another aspect of this I'm just going to check on really quickly. But if I recall correctly, Lindsay Clancy had a nanny, did she not?
Oof. Again, I don't know the cases.
I don't know. I did not read that in what I read today. It's possible, but I didn't read that in what I.
That's horrible.
I only looked at a few articles on this because it makes me sick. I didn't want to look too much into it.
Yeah, I just ran a quick search. She in fact did have a nanny. So I'm sorry.
Oh wow, that's horrible.
This feels more like a case of someone who was just straight up evil, who decided to kill her own children.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume because she was having some sort of problem with the father.
Yeah.
Now
she sent him on a long errand, and
but that makes it that she has mental capacity to do it. She's intelligent enough, and she's not just having a sort of like a mental break, but she's intent is there. So she's not innocent. Like she's not. You can't even case she's insane. It's not because there's intent. Deliberately killing them, as someone said. Deliberately. Oh, that's horrible. Holy crap.
Yeah. So what could be done about this? I know that we brought up asylums, but when it comes to what can we do about this cultural phenomenon of the general women can't do any wrong and other women rally to other women even when they're horrible, what can be done about this?
Well, it's hard to say exactly, other than adopting kind of part of the shame society and telling them, like, no, you're not going to do this.
Good. Yeah.
Because remember, like you said, it's only 1 in 1,000. The only reason why these groups of women even show up outside of a courthouse anyway is because because they can contact each other and form a group and do it now. Back in the day, they would have just been mumbling to themselves in some shitty home that's not getting maintained because they're mentally ill. Honestly, just you know what I think? I think whenever those groups form, they should be scooped up and sent to the asylum.
Yeah, yep.
On site.
Yeah.
And also publicly shamed, like put them in a bus and take them through town and have people
the shame bus.
Point and shame them and like throw rotten vegetables at them.
I was going to say better to have them strapped to a flatbed, yeah.
Well, my point is, there's a reason why cultural institutions like public shame and asylums were a thing. It wasn't because it wasn't because white men of the past were a bunch of evil, misogynistic racists, like we've been told. That's just Hollywood lies. That's anti-white Hollywood lies. Like, we had these institutions because they were a necessary element of a functional society.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. What was the YouTube channel that everyone's been quoting recently? Simple Logic, or what is it called?
Basic Logic.
Basic Logic. Yes. He has a really good video about the 3 types of societies. Or the earliest societies are based on fear, and then they evolved to shame-based societies, and then guilt-based societies. And a good aspect of the same shame society is that it obviously shames people. It uses shame as a way to keep people, to make sure that people do the appropriate thing. And oftentimes that's not the right thing. And then when it evolves into guilt-based societies, it's about who actually did the thing that was wrong.
Yeah.
It's about doing the right thing, no matter what. And if you don't do the right thing, you get punished.
Yeah.
And so we talk about aspects of shame, and they're a good thing, but in the end, they need to be backed up with actually punishing the person that did the thing wrong, not just pointing them and say, shame on you.
Yeah, so I need to offer a point of clarification. Apparently, the nanny had left the employee of the family a month before the killing.
Okay.
So here's what I'm left with wondering, though. If she had a nanny all of that time, and then she was suddenly overwhelmed after a month, at what point did she not think, hey, maybe I should rehire that nanny?
Like, I think that this person's clearly just evil and disturbed.
There's so many bad choices here. You have to kind of think that. Yeah.
Again, like, and there's nothing that I read in the few articles suggests that the husband was abusive or neglectful. Nothing I read suggested that. So I don't, and the defense or the defense did not talk about that. So I didn't see any evidence that the defense brought that up. So I think it's just this woman is unfortunately evil and killed her kids.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what comes out of the court case. But I suppose we've talked enough about that. Anything else on this before we move on to the next dragon? Anybody have anything else?
I'm with Dave. Repeal the 19th.
All right. As you can see on the scrolling marquee at the bottom of the screen, I would love for you to share your hard-earned dollars with me, pretty please. I prefer to get messages, paid chats over on Buy Me a Coffee for only a few dollars. You can say a lot of words over there. You can also send in short messages on PayPal and Cash App. You can also, if you really like my work and want to support me monthly. Oh, I did forget to pin my coffee link. You're right. Thank you for telling me that, Mr. Dead Man. Look at that. What a champ. What a champ. Thank you very much, my friend.
Yeah, but furry avatar. I mean, come on. How good is he?
He's not a furry.
I'm teasing.
He just has a cute little tiger avatar. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't make it cute. Don't let the furries have all the cute animals. Don't be like that.
Don't let them have any of the animals.
Yeah.
That's a very fair point. Also, we shouldn't let the queers have the rainbow.
That's right. I've been on a recapture the rainbow kick for years and years. Rainbows are fucking awesome. Like, I'm a D&D player. Rainbows to me are druid magic. It's using the power of the cosmos and the sunlight to do cool magic effects. Rainbows and prismatic light is a big part of like different kinds of wizarding and druid magic in D&D. And rainbows are just awesome. Like studying light and waves, light science. Rainbows are fucking cool. Don't let the queers own that shit. We're reclaiming the rainbow here. All right. Anyway. Oh, look at Linda. Linda's got my back. She knows. She knows. Prismatic sphere isn't gay, says Ardent. Very good. Very good. So anyway, like I was saying, if you like my work and you want to support me monthly, you can head over to Subscribestar and pick a tier of monthly support that fits your budget, and you can get your name in that awesome intro graphic by Lomax Designs, as well as on the end slide of all of my videos. So I don't see any paid chats that have rolled in yet. If anybody just sent one in, I'm sure that we will see it after the next dragon. And yes, I do stop to check for paid chats after each dragon. So let's go ahead and drop that banner and bring back up the dragons for the evening. Bid adieu to this big, scary black dragon and go back to the topics, which is what you voted for: war never ending, Big Brother bashing, and ancient anniversary ashes. Mr. Ardent Party, you're the party leader. What will be next, sir?
Let's see. I will pass off to Pomen for the next one.
Ooh, all right. Well, the black dragon scared me. So
I understand. We all understand blacks are scary on this channel. We understand it.
let's get the green dragon. What you voted for?
Oh, okay, this is a fun one. I like this one.
All right.
All right. Going over to Forbes, of all places. Trump admin officials now restricting all legal immigration categories. Why is this so off-center? Why is this like this? This is a bad upload to the archive site. I apologize for how off-centered and weird this is. Normally, these archive links are not like this. Anyway, the Trump admin is restricting all legal immigration categories in an effort to reduce the flow of immigrants. The restrictions include freezes by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services and State Department officials refusing to process applications abroad. The policies affect U.S. citizens sponsoring spouses, children, and other family members to join them in America, as well as employers seeking workers. Analysts note that the U.S. economy requires more workers to grow, but the administration's actions reduce labor supply. Now, see, I wanted you to see the anti-white angle on the right side of things, because usually economics is considered right-wing stuff, and I want you to see how anti-whiteism exists on the right as well, because Forbes always runs screen for "but my economy, my GDP, we need infinity Indians, so line go up." That's always the stance that Forbes takes. Led by White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, he's one of the good ones, the chief architect of Donald Trump's immigration agenda, the policies are having a significant impact. The Trump administration's policies will reduce legal immigration to the U.S. by an estimated 33 to 50%, or 1.5 million to 2.4 million legal immigrants by the end of this 4-year term. This was his proclamation in January 2026, and I think I even covered that article on stream. An earlier NFAP report factored in labor contraction due to other immigration policies, including on deportation and ending temporary status, and concluded, due to fewer workers in the labor force, the Trump administration's immigration policies would lead to a potential labor loss in the U.S. economy of 19 million workers by 2028 and 102 million workers by 2035. Now, this, of course, Forbes is presenting as a danger, but I applaud it. Thank you, Trump admin, for doing something that I like. The policies would reduce the projected cumulative goods and services produced by $1.9 trillion, or $5,600 per person, from 2025 to 2028, and then $12.1 trillion by 2035. Now, we're going to leave off the anti-white Forbes article because they just want to act like how this is the sky is falling, and we know it's not. So we're going to go over here and look at some particulars about this from this excellent Twitter post here. In a new Board of Immigration Appeals decision, the Trump admin stated that individuals will no longer be allowed to leave the country on advance parole and re-enter the U.S. with lawful admission. This could prevent a DACA recipient from marrying a U.S. citizen and then gaining permanent residence after leaving on advance parole. In an effort to meet arrest quotas, Immigration and Customs is arresting people with pending applications, including individuals sponsored for permanent residency. Miriam Jordan of the New York Times reported on a Russian-born woman with a green card application pending after applying for asylum and marrying an American citizen. ICE arrested her from a domestic flight and placed her in detention. Now, again, this is taken from, popular media, so they always choose an anti-white angle. I don't care if a few white people who are illegals get booted. I don't give a shit. The majority of them will be non-white and people we don't want anyway who are white, like freeloaders and shit. All right, here's a good one. FHA loan access ends for H-1B visa holders and other non-permanent residents, squeezing them out of the U.S. HUD demands public housing officials check for immigrants. HUD moves to end assistance for families with mixed immigration status. The SBA bans foreign nationals from accessing SBA-backed loans. And now here is a good one here. A work slowdown by the Trump admin immigration office has exploded the backlog of applications for citizenship, green cards, and work permits to an unprecedented 7.5 million people. Add the millions of immigrants waiting on decisions for asylum, work visas, and permission to stay in the U.S. for humanitarian reasons, and the total backlog soars to 12.1 million. Now, here's the thing. This matters because they are just putting the kibosh on all of this and blanketly rejecting all of them just to stop the flow. USCIS to reduce frivolous immigration benefits requested by reinforcing evidence standards. New rule limits interviews for many asylum seekers, fast-tracking deportations. And the list goes on and on. Here you can see that here's the deportation flights tracked over the last year and a half. They keep going up and up and up. And so, as you can see, it's not just Mexico. That's less than half of the deportations. They are rejecting and getting rid of people from multiple countries, especially India, China, excuse me, and Russia. Now, again, I don't hate Russians, the Chinese, or the Indians. I just don't want them here. You know, I don't want people who are not supposed to be here to get in. So I think this is all good news. I'm very happy and wanted to include it in the Dragons tonight. So, the Green with us tonight is Ancient. He passed on leadership of his clan to one of his sons and now lives on one of the moons of his world, overseeing it from above. He spends his time pondering philosophy and learning about other worlds. He finds the situation of Westerners of our world both fascinating and heartbreaking, and is curious what we think about the Trump administration's mixed signals when it comes to actually caring about the well-being of heritage Americans, or whites, in other words. So the question tonight is for you, Pomen. Do you think that the Trump administration is serious about ensuring the demographic security of heritage Americans? What would you like to see happen along these lines in your country?
Oh, yeah, 2 questions.
Yes.
First question is no. No, he doesn't care. Like, none of these people care. I mean, the aspect of deportation, I mean, I don't know what you showed is interesting, but it's not what we've seen the last 2 years. So is this maybe just midterms are coming up? He's trying to make it look good, and then he goes back to not caring again. Hard to say. Yeah, I don't think they care. I don't. Second question then: what would you like to see happen along these lines in your country? These lines, not at all, but I don't know. Things not happening here either, in a sense. So in July last month, I'm a Swede for everybody who doesn't know. I think we had 2-digit, like 40-something people, 50-something people get a permanent residency only. So
wow,
that's the
great.
lowest it's been, well, pretty much ever. And we'll continue with that low number. That's the plan. But does that actually stop the? We can talk about replacement. Well, there was another news that came out recently. I don't know if I have it saved. Was it saying like, was it 40% of all people under 18 are of one foreign descent? I think if not more than that, but I don't remember exactly. But it's pretty bad. So, and I usually say this because it happened very quickly here. If not counting 65 plus and just counting, well, 50 below usually, we're already at 50-50 when it comes to ethnic Swedes and non-ethnic Swedes. It's only the boomers that makes the number look good for the whites, but otherwise not so much. But still, things are happening, but I don't. It's hard to say because
I can say some things.
Okay, yeah, you go ahead.
Because because obviously you not being an American means sometimes obviously there's going to be stuff you don't see, and that's reasonable, understandable.
So just like there's lots of stuff I don't know about Sweden. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
I can't pretend I know much about Sweden at all. So there was something really serious happening in the Trump admin a few weeks back. So the head of statistics for the DHS head of the immigration statistics, was fired because he was caught fudging the numbers down.
Yep.
And guess what his last name was? It was a Jewish one.
Yep.
It was most like Jewy looking guy you could possibly imagine.
I saw the meme of that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He looked like an anti-Semitic cartoon, as many of them do.
And the last time I saw a number out of the DHS, it was on the aliens page that they did as a PR thing, and it was stating 3,169,000. It's most likely much higher than that.
But the actual number Stephen Miller found was like triple that.
Yes. Yeah.
And
really?
So they fired that guy. Yeah.
So that means it's well over 9 million. We could easily be halfway back to 2020 levels.
Yeah.
But that means we're just about hitting 10 million deportations. In fact, I was just looking at Twitter, and in Virginia, ICE apparently deported.
Well, to get to the triple number, it's not just deportations; it's canceling them mid-transit and keeping them from being here. That's how you get the triple number. Yeah.
Okay. Still,
so it's still good. It's still good.
That's still damn good because all the other numbers are fantastic as well. If you look at the Forbes article, the fact that we've reduced refugees to 10K a year. And of course, as soon as Trump did that, he filled all the slots with South African white Afrikaners.
Yeah. Later on in the Forbes article, the anti-white cunt who wrote it actually bemoaned the fact that the only people allowed to seek asylum are white South Africans in the United States now.
Yes. The H-1B program is currently basically down to 0 because he changed all the requirements. And that's basically what the executive can do. They can change the requirements for all these things. They have the power of that. But they don't have the power to shut it down. That's for Congress to do because they changed the law. So at the moment, we've basically got all sorts of stalled. Every form of legal immigration is stalled to some degree. See, for H-1Bs, if you want to do an H-1B request, you have to pay $100,000 for the group. And that's every year. And then you don't get any, and the actual physical method of bringing them in, obviously by plane, is also, there's additional requirements that the Indians cannot no longer fulfill. That was where that article about the Indians being stranded, and it turns out they're stranded in their own home country. I think article came from.
Or Canada.
And if you really go through the article, everything's been restricted. The actual net migration at the moment is in the tens of thousands at most per year.
I'll share the article with you so you guys can all read it if you like.
It's absolutely fantastic work. Yeah, and the work at the border. The border's still getting worked on.
Assuming we're not being lied to in this article, I don't think we are, because I looked on Breitbart, I looked over on Blaze, I looked at, Fox News. I looked at a lot of the major news outlets that are covering this. Of course, they all suck Trump's dick, so I didn't want to share those articles. But
but it seems
sharing
consistent.
The same numbers, and the statistics do seem to come directly from the government. So again, I never trust anything from anybody. I never trust the media or the government, but it does seem to be that massive cuts have been made to visas, green cards, work visas, H-1B and H-2B. They've been just yeeting backlog after backlog, hundreds of thousands of people wanting to come in for work. They're just putting the kibosh on all of it and just stopping it, which is pretty good.
And crossings on the border have been reduced to literally 0 since not this February, last February.
Yeah.
The border isn't fully sealed up yet. Obviously, work's still going on that, but because DHS is actually being directed to do its job, they don't actually let anybody through. What else was I think was that it? But no, the situation as far as illegal immigration is going it looks good. We really need a good result in the midterms.
Yeah, we all know that the worst problem of the two is legal immigration, and it's good to finally see real action being taken about it. So now, again, of course, I hate how in the United States, everything is just rule of pen, and it's only whoever's in power just rules through executive order, because all this stuff they can turn the spigot back on if the current people get pushed out of power by the next lot. But at least in the meantime, good things are being done. The massive influx has at least been interrupted for now. And every single country in the world, except for white South Africans, has been removed now from the can claim refugee status list. So according to the Trump administration, only white South Africans fleeing persecution can be given refugee status in the United States as of now. No one from anywhere else in the world can claim that here, which I think is awesome.
That's actually really good.
Well,
So
you
the-
guys see. You
Well,
see, no more
actually-
immigration. Vote for Trump for a third term, so he can give one more shekel to Israel.
So he
I
can have
mean-
one more shekel and start one more war with Iran.
Yeah, exactly.
one
But
more
it's
war.
the rule. It's the iron rule of elites. You got to put the guys you want in there.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
No,
Just to respond to
trust
the
this.
dragon's second question, though, I'll pop in because it's actually something that kind of matters to me, being Canadian and slowly being over flooded with mud. For Canada, the best policies that we have, and there are parties pushing these policies, would be a full moratorium on immigration, and generally the minimum number that gets bandied around is 10 years. That would absolutely do a good job to keep the problem from getting any worse, with the exception, of course, of reproduction within the country. But that can be helped with a couple of other things. Canada does not currently have an organization analogous to ICE in the US. We have no immigration enforcement arm other than a stern letter telling them to get out. And we definitely need to institute something like that. After that's done, then we need to start looking at the fraudulent foreigners, whether they're simply welfare leeches or if they're the more dangerous breed, which are the trucking jeets, we'll call them.
Truck Jeets, yeah.
Yes, who
Oh,
have a terrible
Jesus.
tendency to kill Canadians on our roads because they can't take their frigging eyes off their goddamn phones.
Or
We have a lot
cooking
of
the
that
curry.
problem here too. We're trying to get rid of them.
Yeah,
Literally
Yeah.
cooking curry on the dash.
California, yeah. But yeah, we need to get those out too. We need to start looking even at citizens as well, even if they're second or third generation, because guaranteed there are going
Yeah.
to be families that have been nothing.
Well, that
but
comes later.
leeches
Like
the entire time
we
they've
have
been
to
here.
do, you have to start it with the easy fruit, then you get to the harder stuff.
Yeah, and then once all of that is sorted out and we decide to allow immigration again, my feeling is that the only people we should be letting in are those who actually can assimilate to our civilization.
And
So
have
it's
something
like-
to offer, by the way. Like,
Yes, so
there used to be a time you didn't just take anybody. I hate that shit. I hate that the stupid Statue of Liberty thing, give me your sick and your hungry shit. No, fuck that. Don't give me your sick and your hungry, because we have sick and hungry here of our own that need to be taken care of.
yeah.
Now,
No,
anyway, oh, go ahead.
I'll just finish real quick. Like the people that we should be letting in are South Africans, Europeans, Australians, New Zealanders, people who share not just, and it's not just about skin color, it's about our cultures. They should be people who are our people.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm good.
So now I want to talk about the negative stuff, the aforementioned mixed signals. Now, the mixed signals from Trump himself. Remember we covered earlier this year about Trump greenlighting like 500,000 Chinese exchange students. We all hated that. Of course, we don't like his playing ball with the war machine to do the stupid war with Iran stuff. We don't like that. That's bad for us. We also don't like Trump's back and forth on tariffs. We don't like Trump supporting the big tech bros with the fucking never-ending
Speak
surveillance
for
stuff.
yourself. I like the tariffs shit.
Well,
Fucking-
a lot of people on our side of things don't like those for economic reasons because of the blowback and then the back and forth. But again, I'm not one of them. I don't care about the tariffs. My point is,
Buy American, nigger.
my point here is, with all of this that's happening, with all of the yeeting the backlog of hundreds of thousands of people wanting visas, with putting the kibosh on like 1.7 million currently abroad temporaries and saying that they're not welcome to come back. All of this stuff is good, but do you think that this is indicative of people in the administration, if not Trump himself, being serious about our demographic security? Or do you think this is just people in the Trump administration doing what they're told because the midterms are coming up, and this is all just political bluff and what's the word? Gusto,
Yeah.
political gusto. What do you guys think?
That's what I believe, but I don't know. Not American.
I'm more of a pessimist, so I sort of agree with Pomen. Like, I'll believe it if I see this continue month after month, year after year. If it starts to seem real and it actually sticks around and we actually see states and companies actually following suit and stopping the hiring of and the facilitating of mass immigration, then I will start to believe that people in government with power are actually serious about this. But until I see those knock-on effects, I'm not going to believe that it's real. That's my pessimism speaking here. But 3, I know that you're rather optimistic about things. What do you think about all that?
I think you're right that it's going to take continued pressure to get the companies to drop it, especially because a lot of the times they're being held hostage by their ownership through like Vanguard and
because they're
BlackRock
internationalists. Yeah.
Because of how shareholder capitalism works.
Yeah.
They're essentially legally required to be run to the ground if that's what the shareholders both demand and think will make them money. Especially if they lie. So I'm less optimistic on that. It's ripped apart almost everything I care about. So no, I'm not optimistic on that part. I'm more optimistic about the culture of individuals changing. But I don't know, maybe the silver lining is that it tears down a lot of bad, mediocre companies and we get more mom and pop stores. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Like, I understand that you like, just like Rupert Lowe with Restore talks about, I think that it's necessary for us to realize we have to experience some hardships to fix things. I don't care if the economy gets rough and if I lose luxuries and if things are harder. I don't care. I want things to be better. We all need to realize you can't have something for nothing. Effort must be exerted to have results. And if we are going to get out of this horrible mass migration, white erasure garbage that we're in, well, so what if things have to get rough for a while? It's better than having no future at all and drowning in a sea of foreigners, right? Like, surely we all agree on that, right?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
I'll take some economic pain in the meantime. After all, I'm not employed because, they told me I couldn't be. So I'm like, I'm just kind of waiting this all out at the moment.
Yeah, so you don't face the blunt of.
Well, I mean,
an
upside is
economic
I'm not paying taxes into it. I'm not holding positions that are vulnerable to it.
Well, the average American does. The average American is the one being punished here.
Yeah, as they are always.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm very against tariffs. I mean, it hasn't hurt us at all over here, pretty much. But I feel really bad for the average American.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because
horrible.
a big part of why a lot of people on the so-called white right don't like all this tariff bullshit is, yeah, it might be good for the American economy, but most of us are working poor. And so it hurts us. And the things we have to buy are more expensive now.
What are you importing?
3.
Yeah, you give that sigh. You go ahead and sigh.
I'm not saying that I have that opinion. I'm telling you what that opinion exists, and that's why a lot of people don't like the tariffs.
Okay. Well, they can choose to be retarded if they want.
All right.
That's your stance on it. Then that's fine. But I don't think it's that cut and dry. 3. There are knock-on effects that we have suffered from.
There are knock-on effects, but
I understand. Like I just said, having economic hardships in the short term is part of things getting better if they're getting better. If not, it's just economic hardship for no gain. But again, I would have to do more reading and research on very boring economic numbers to have a firm opinion on the tariff thing. That's why I absolve myself of having a firm opinion on it, because I don't want to do the required work of knowing what the fuck I'm talking about.
I mean, I did the work, so I could talk about it at some point.
Okay. Well, if you want to give us a short breakdown of why you think they're good, go ahead. And then Pomen can report since he thinks that they're negative.
Right. The very short explanation on that is that America has the lowest rate of imported goods to GDP of any country on Earth. We produce 85% of everything that we own here. It's actually why it harms us less than tariffs would hurt most other countries.
Okay.
See,
Pomen,
for example,
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you said would hurt less than other countries, still hurts.
It does, but not nearly as much as you might think, because considering our two largest partners, right, to the north and south, Canada and Mexico make up less than 10% of the GDP that we operate with. Europe makes up less than 5%. Compared, like that's only 15% of shit that we even vaguely import for the sake of say stuff like cars, stuff like foreign food, stuff like that. But everything else we produce here. And we also have plenty of examples of the sort of fancier things that you would think that many countries would have to import. Like, for example, like fine cheeses and wine. We have Wisconsin cheese and we have California wine, and we produce that sort of thing in other places in the country too. And we regularly win international competitions.
Yeah, great. But why don't you just
you buy the judges
on that? Like again, I mean, the issue with the tariffs is.
Well, we made the French cry, so.
You didn't make the French cry, no. But I mean, the only thing you're kind of, which is gaining from this, is just bigger American companies. Your average mom pop shop, your wine sellers don't really earn much from it. Anything,
right, but that's not the point of the wine sellers earning much from it. The thing is that we're not importing it. We don't import it in large amounts.
Yeah, the only people you didn't import it before, so.
Yeah, and the only people who insist on that sort of thing have lifestyles that wouldn't be affected by having to pay extra on tariffs anyway. If anything, it's just put money into the U.S. Treasury. Some $300 billion in 1 year.
Yeah, you say that while America has grown with their national debt more than, well, I don't know how many decades it has grown in 2 years.
The debt cannot be fixed until we actually have the power to enact law.
But nothing has happened in 2 years. Are you just going to pretend that Trump's going to fix it?
No, I'm not pretending that Trump's going to fix it. We need to have a stronger majority in Congress. Sorry, that's like just a hard requirement.
The Republicans need a majority. Okay, jeez.
Yeah, I know, it's dire, isn't it?
Yeah,
so let's just move on from that and go to the next one, because I just wanted to give you guys a moment to talk about the tariff stuff. So let's go ahead and move on. Over on Buy Me a Coffee, we have Dead M chiming in. Let's see. Dead M, as you recall, was the one that had the tiger avatar earlier that we talked about for $10 US. Thank you, friend. He says, lol, my tiger is so I can have an avatar for YouTube. I can't help your jealousy. And yes, he is right. I'm not a furry.
My apologies.
That's funny. All right. And that's it. That's the only paid chat that came in during that one. So let's go ahead and bring the dragons back up. We have done both on the right side now, which leaves the three on the left side. War never ending, Big Brother bashing, and ancient anniversary ashes. Ardent Party, you are the leader. What is next, sir?
I will absolutely allow our resident Borg to go next. I mean, he lives here after all.
All right, three. Which will it be?
I think I'd like to go. Did we do Big Brother bashing?
That one, so. I think you will enjoy. I like Big Brother bashing because it's something that happened where I live, here in East Tennessee. Give me just a moment to get it up here.
I'll just take this opportunity to say flock delenda est.
Yes.
Speaking of, Sullivan County, which is just to the east of me, Sullivan County Commissioner suggests Flock CEO be publicly hanged. A Thursday night Sullivan County Commission work session that was called to discuss the use of flock cameras in Sullivan County turned heated after a county commissioner called for the public hanging of Flock Safety's CEO, Garrett Langley. What started as a civil discussion turned heated following those comments made by Commissioner Joe Carr. I believe that I believe that Flock right now is one of the most hated companies in America, Carr stated during the meeting. They are one of the most corrupt companies in America, and quite frankly, sir, I don't think we can make America great again without hanging your CEO publicly for treason. That was Commissioner Chairman Commissioner Chairman John Gardner immediately interrupted Carr. Mr. Carr, we're not going to threaten violence to anybody here today. The comments were made after Carr asked several questions to a flock safety representative about the use of cameras. Carr, however, was not the only commissioner questioning flock safety. Commissioner Gary Stidham introduced a resolution stating that the country wouldn't renew its contract with flock. Quote, right now, we've got a technology that we put in place, Stidham told Channel 11 News. We voted for, and I sponsored the resolution, but we need to correct it. That technology is growing with AI. It's going to get out of hand quickly. There are no safeguards in place. So the number one thing we need to do in the State General Assembly for the next year is putting guardrails on this thing. Several commissioners were concerned with data storage and privacy. The flock representative said during the meeting that people should not be concerned. Quote, the biggest thing everybody wants to know is how the data is used, the representative said. Sullivan County Sheriff's Office owns the data. They control who can access the data internally from their own users and can require or govern what other law enforcement agencies access their cameras. In response to Thursday night's meeting, the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office provided News Channel 11 with the following statement. The Sullivan County Sheriff's Office has used this advanced technology to help locate suspects and victims, as well as enhance public safety. We have policies and guardrails in place to ensure the technology is used lawfully and appropriately. The system only retains 30 days of stored data. We believe the safeguards currently in place within our agency provide clear guidelines for its use. We understand the concerns of our citizens and county commissioners, and we are committed to working with them as needed. Ultimately, the decision to fund or not fund this technology rests with the county commissioners. Now, so there you have two sides of the story about this, and I would like to talk about it. So, the blue. The blue with us tonight, like many blues in the Great Dragon Empire, works in arcane technology. He views surveillance technology as a critical element of advanced society, but also knows how such things can be abused. He chose this topic tonight to ask us about the opposing poles of the topic, the pleb level of rejection to abusive surveillance versus the ruler's necessity for it. So here's the question 3. Do you view mass surveillance technology as a necessary element of society? If not, why? If so, how can such technology be used fairly and responsibly?
Well, I don't think it's a necessary element of society. If anything, it's the tax you pay for not having a functional society, like many other things. It's just yet another one in a line of things that we have done to make up for the fact that society is crumbling around us. Is make the state our parent rather than our culture, our community, or our parents. The problem is that, well, if you had a high trust functional society and you had the culture, I mean, anybody who knows what life was like when America was, say, 77% white, or when it was during 9/11, or when it was 95% white during the 70s,
Yep.
or go to New England right now.
Yeah, we didn't need it then.
You don't need it because you barely need any state apparatus to enforce order. In fact, there's that clip of the old man policeman gently suggesting what people should be doing with themselves, just sort of keep themselves out of trouble. That's all you need. That's all you need. People will, if everyone's reasonable, at the very least, that goes a long way, because then they can talk it out and then come to a peaceful agreement instead of like crashing out like a fucking ape. You don't need these technologies because, well, simply it's just not necessary unless you've built a society where people don't do what they should be doing, or if you have cultural norms like the honor society, the honor system that the Indians have. It's all self-reinforcing. The question is culture, and it's not being used against them, of course. Being used against us. It's being used against natives with like a 1/3 false positive rate, putting people through months of months of court hearings where they were never guilty of anything.
I've seen a lot of that on Twitter and on 4chan and in Discord and stuff about people bitching about how, I got a letter from blah, blah, blah saying that my car was involved in whatchamacallit, but no, I was at work all night. My car was in the parking lot, like shit like that. So there are indeed a lot of false positives with this flock shit.
Yeah, Big O, you need to look into Izet culture. It's sometimes translated as their honor culture, but it doesn't mean the same thing.
It's different there. But anyway, that's not what this is about. Let's move on.
Big O.
Yeah, go ahead, Pomen.
Well, I'm gonna say everything 312 said has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with security. It's nothing to do with high trust, low trust society. It's nothing. It's completely irrelevant to that. It's not a security camera. It's an informational gathering camera.
Yes.
And has nothing to do with if you had a high trust society or didn't have immigration. No, it's about the sort of tech companies want.
Well, that's the excuse used, obviously.
Well, that is the reason. It's nothing to do with security. Oh, you mean security excuse? Yeah, absolutely.
They'll say it to your face. It's about security, but it's obviously about watching your every move, so they can create a profile of who you are, where you go, who you associate with. So if there's some sort of large-scale dissonant system, they can just take it apart.
Well, it's not even about the dissonant systems. They don't give a shit about that either. It's, if anything, they can sell you something else. They sell you some Solenrad flag on Amazon. That has nothing to do. Like, you can't do anything, so they can just sell to you because you can't do shit. They just want to know where you are. Like, they want as much information as possible about the people they live in the West, I should say.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know exactly why. They're not very honest with it, but that's the reason why.
They're preparing for when they're going to be in power again. I mean, that's why you don't see flock cameras.
I wouldn't even say that.
I don't think it's just one thing, guys. I think that in the world that we live in, everything is about mass data collection and using that mass data for X. And X is, do you want to sell things? Do you want to predict a market? Do you want to, like 3 of 12 brought up, do you want to punish your political enemies? Do you want to use this mass data to know where you need to set up a shop? Do you want to use this mass data to know where you need to put the next intersection? Like, I don't think it's just one reason. I think it's because we have the technology available and people with money and power want to, they all benefit from mass data harvesting, and the more mass data they have, the more they can, the easier they can do all the things they want to do. I don't think it's just one thing.
So but this is so, if I may, so I was pondering this just I think about 2 days ago. Decided to go grab a beer, camera, record beer. All right, now they're gonna give me beer ads. Anyways, but I was pondering, because there's some camera set up by the street. It's a very bad street, so I understand it's a camera set up. I no issue with the camera itself. I was seeing some kids selling drugs. It's like very close to the camera. I'm like, so it's not about, this camera's not about security, because they literally just recorded them selling drugs and they will get away with it.
Yeah.
So, then why? It's like
you have a great point there, because there's many different groups that can access the flock cameras. Especially, I found out that if you just access the domain for it, anybody can access it. It's not even protected.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big issue too.
It's actually, and I think this is just me spitballing a little bit, that on some level they are trying to turn every social system on Earth into one where anyone can be blackmailed, so that everyone can be controlled.
Yeah, but 100%, and I mean that too. I mean, they've integrated themselves into police systems and everything. Like, they can pretty much, not close to predict, but very close to predict pretty much every behavior you have, and especially the drug dealers. I mean, they know 100%, yet they don't do anything. But I also think they're just overselling. They don't know when to stop, because it's an ever-growing market, so they just keep going.
Because Flock is a company, and at the end of the day, they got to sell stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm actually with you, as I don't think it is for any singular thing. And one of the other things I can see being added is, hey, where should we draw the borders for the next election? Because it would make
absolutely 100%.
Gerrymandering, if you have mass data, you can gerrymander better too.
But just to answer the first part of the Dragon's question, there is absolutely no reason for mass surveillance in a society that is capable of setting its own boundaries. If a society is empowered to take care of itself, and currently the American society is the closest to the ideal for that, because you guys are able to own guns, some of you are able to carry guns wherever the hell you want. That is
East
the
Tennessee represent, baby. I see people carrying shotguns at the grocery store. Woo!
constitutional carry for the win, baby.
That's right.
But I mean, when you're capable of doing that, it not only gives the criminals the right idea of, oh, maybe I shouldn't screw with these people because I don't know if grandma over there has a friggin' cig in her pocket,
Yeah.
or the
In the county I live in, Ardent, 68% of all homeowners are registered gun owners. Registered. And when polled in the county, 18% of people carry a firearm every day.
Beautiful. Yeah,
so
that's
and I don't know if these two correlate together or not, but we have basically zero breaking and entering crime in my county every year. We've had one B&E in like 5 years.
Yeah, and I imagine that guy must have been absolutely desperate.
It was drug related.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a society that's high trust, homogenous, and capable of defending itself does not need mass surveillance, because the mass surveillance is, hey Jimmy, did you hear what Billy did?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. But that's sort of the interesting aspect, because a lot has been written throughout history about population control, because especially during war, it's you have to. So, for example, during military siege, let's say your city is a fortress, more or less, but it's being sieged by the French, or no, and you have to survive about a year inside a siege fortification. It's all about control. It's all about information and control. And I mean, you call your population very quickly. You kind of kick out the no doers. All of this, and you take that control pretty much within a week, less than a week, like a few days, a few hours. It's not very hard to gain control, because you also said back in the day it was much easier. He said this. They said, like the network is already existing, so it's very easy to work within it. And the question becomes, well, okay, so we built this up. The system is supposed to help with connecting these dots, also in case of emergencies in the future or war, but it doesn't work. There's no trust. There's no humans behind it. It's all like it has no power. It just is.
No one I'd call human anyway.
Yeah, like that is. I'm glad you brought that up, Pomen. That's one of the things I don't like about this whole push for mass surveillance, mass connection, everything being digitized, AI centers monitoring everybody's phone calls and text messages and where you go. And it's so inhuman. It's soulless. It's ugly.
But it doesn't do anything. So, for example, we had a school attack. When was it? Monday? Yeah. Was it today, or was it? It must have been today. Or was it Friday? It might have been Friday. Don't remember exactly what. It's Friday, and they were. He got sort of inspired by Christchurch shootings, like the school shooters types, and it's like, oh yeah, it was. Now when we see it was so clear. Like he literally posted about school shooting, posted about all of these things. It was very clear, and yet no one saw it. It's like, yeah, because we have systems as Marxists, but they don't do anything. Like, yeah, you could see all of the patterns. Like he pretty much took photos of the sword, posted publicly before even doing it, and he wasn't flagged. Like the entire system is built for observing your. When you touch your PP, they know, and yet nothing. Yet nothing. They can't stop the most obvious school attacks.
Well, and there's another issue too with the flock camera, with the mass surveillance in general. If you really want to be able to know what everyone in your society is doing, you need to start banning burqas and masks and many other things that
and yarmulkes.
Yeah.
Well,
no, mask coverings.
That just covers
covering your face. Yeah.
Is it your tiny hat? Or you're just happy to see me.
Wasn't that something Wasn't that something that was discussed?
Is that a tiny hat, or are you just happy to charge me high interest rates?
Sorry, what were you saying, Pomen?
Yeah, but that was something that was discussed, right? The banning of like balaclavas and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's been mentioned as well. But I mean, like I say, if you really want to institute an actual surveillance state as opposed to simply let's see what the white people are doing, then you actually do need to ban things like the burqa. And yeah, the balaclava is a good one as well. To be fair, I mean, in the middle of July in 35, 40-degree heat, if you see someone wearing a balaclava, you can be pretty sure they're up to no good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I see some of the dumb blacks in my neighborhood, and they are wearing they're wearing full winter outfits in 90-degree weather.
Well, it depends if they're foreign blacks or not, because they just might not be used to the temperature.
Oh, they're not foreign ones.
Yeah, put them on the
Oh.
boat, send them to Liberia, get them out of here.
There's something wrong with these people.
Liberia? Geez, you're so nice, Giz. I'd send them to freaking Congo.
Oh, I sent them to Chad.
I don't care. I don't care if
Congo's
it's
also
Liberia
nice,
or
bro.
the fucking sun. Just get them out of here.
Yeah, as long as they're gone.
As long as they're gone, I don't care.
Leave my chemistry teacher out of this.
So that was a fun conversation. Let's go ahead and see if we have any paid chats before we move on here. Over on nothing there on Buy Me a Coffee. Refreshing over on Subscribestar and PayPal. Refreshing Cash App here to see what we have. And nothing. Okay, over on Rumble we have Liberty or Death. I know this guy. He lives not too far from me. He even says that in his paid chat here. For $5 over on Rumble, he says, I live in Bristol, Tennessee. That ain't too far from me. That's only like a 40-minute drive from me. And he says, I can't bring myself to care about these cameras while every convenience store within 150 miles is ran by Indians. Yeah, I hear you, man. Like, there's bigger fish to fry than these stupid flock cameras. Like, there's a lot of other problems much higher in importance, I think, to deal with than bitching about these flock cameras. Like, I just don't care. Like, to me, yeah, do I want them around? No, but I mean, people around here where I live, like when it comes to like, the red light cameras that give you a ticket if you're going through a yellow light when it changes, like around here, we regularly cut the wires of those and shoot them. So they don't even put cameras up around here because it's just not worth it because we just destroy them. So they stopped doing that here a long time ago. I mean, I'm just saying, you have agency. You can do shit. You can just do things.
Yeah.
Like, those flock cameras are full of copper. I'm just saying.
I am much more alarmed about cops showing up at my door accusing me of shit and then saying they have an inarguable proof and that I should just admit to what I'm doing. And I'm like, why are you here and why? You realize I have a gun, right?
See, I'd never say things like that. I'd just say, do you have a warrant? Excellent. Show it to me.
Like, well, why are you here then?
Yeah.
If you don't have a warrant, why are you here? Get out. Get off my
Like, you
property.
don't even have to
before I-
answer the door.
Stop
Like, you don't even
talking,
have to
yeah,
answer.
stop
Like, they
talking.
come
Yeah,
knocking,
exactly.
just
Yes.
ignore it. Like,
Stop
if you know you
talking.
didn't do anything wrong,
Yeah,
answer the
don't
door.
even talk to them, man.
Yeah,
You do
like
it.
that's the biggest mistake you can do is actually talking to the cops. Just don't go to the door. Just
Also,
let 'em
remember,
fuck off.
folks, October the 31st is coming, and Halloween is a great time to wear a mask and walk around near flock cameras. I'm just saying.
All right.
The
Well,
great flockening.
thank you, Liberty or Death. Good to see you, man. It's been a while. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and drop that banner. We have 2 dragons left for the evening. That was the blue that we did. That leaves Ancient Anniversary Ashes and War Never Ending. So do you want to talk about interesting tech or do you want to talk about war next? What do you guys want? Ardent Party, you're the leader.
I will take Ancient Anniversary Ashes. I'd like to see what the White Dragon has for us.
Okay, you guys probably don't know what this is because this is my oddball topic for the evening. Here we go. AI helps decode new secrets from scrolls burned by Mount Vesuvius. University of Kentucky project using artificial intelligence to help decode an ancient Roman mystery has led to a major discovery. In 79 AD, the eruption of Mount Vesuvius buried the Roman city of Pompeii and the nearby town of Herculaneum. During a dig at Herculaneum in the 18th century, archaeologists found 1,800 papyrus scrolls in an intact ancient library deep under the site of a villa that was destroyed by Vesuvius's eruption. But reading them was impossible. The scrolls are brittle and charred, and unraveling them turns them to ash. For centuries, researchers have worked to interpret the scrolls. Recent technology led to a breakthrough. A particle accelerator and AI were used to identify ink, even faint traces, allowing researchers to virtually unwrap these delicate scrolls. Interpreting the language, though, is another matter. In 2023, Brent Seals launched the Vesuvius Challenge, a global competition offering prize money for those who can help interpret the hidden writing. 3 college students became the first to extract words from a carbonized scroll in 2024, but they were only able to interpret about 5% of one scroll. The second phase of the challenge led to Thursday's major discovery. The University of Kentucky's Stanley and Karen Pigman School of Engineering, which leads the research in collaboration with the Biblioteca Nazionale di Napoli Vittorio Emanuele III, woo, what a mouthful, in Naples, or Napolis if you're Italian, said that experts have virtually unwrapped one entire scroll and recovered more than 70 columns of text from another, identified 2 new books from ancient Rome, and recovered sufficient text to support new critical scholarly editions. Virtually unwrapped scroll P. Herc 1667 is one of the oldest in the collection, Nicolardi said. Now that it has been unrolled, efforts to determine the authorship of the paper are underway. One of the books revealed that the philosopher Philodemus wrote an 8-book series. Only one book was previously known to exist. For nearly 2 millennia, many of these texts have been physically preserved but intellectually inaccessible, Seals said in the release. Today, after years of interdisciplinary work combining advanced imaging, artificial intelligence, academic research, and innovation contest, we are finally able to read them. And here, thanks to the particles that were saturated into the scroll and the AI compilation for unrolling them, this is what we see on the scroll that the students put together. The amount of text revealed means scholars can read the scrolls as complete arguments rather than fragments. Federica Nicolardi, an assistant professor in papyrology at the Università degli Studi, it's that long Italian thing, said that this marks a transformational shift for researchers. Today, we are hearing voices that have been silent for 2,000 years, Seals said. For the first time, we are uncovering and reading them, but most importantly, we are beginning to understand them. Still, though, more than 600 scrolls remain to be open and unread. Giorgio Angelotti, a project lead with the Vesuvius Challenge, said the effort is ongoing and that archaeologists need everyone's help to read the scrolls. Seals said he believes the entire library can one day be deciphered. This is no longer just about imaging or machine learning, he said. Now we need experts who can read, edit, and understand what these scrolls have to say. Interesting. The White is this beautiful creature here. The White with us tonight is a mystic who uses her divine powers to learn from both the past and the future. She uses her gifts to help guide her clan and caution the lesser creatures of the Empire against foolish actions. She chose this story tonight since AI is often the butt of jokes or hated for being a huge waste of time and money, which is largely true. But this seems like a proper use of AI. Her question is this. Ardent Pardy, do you think this and other scientific applications of AI are a net positive to tech advancement? What other facets of science do you think could be improved by AI?
This is absolutely a positive for tech advancement. This is one of the most glorious things that white people have managed probably in the last century, or at least this century. I absolutely think they're a net positive, yes. Other facets of science that could be improved by this, not necessarily science so much, but things like prospecting for minerals, oil prospecting, things of that nature, that the technology could be somewhat adapted to that. Now, obviously, 3 will probably argue with me and probably have a far better argument for why it can't, but because he's much more the tech guy than I am. But this is evidence that just when we think we've kind of reached the frontiers of our understanding and our knowledge, we come up with something like this. And we discover that, yeah, while AI may be kind of sucking the life out of some of the arts, it's actually injecting new possibilities into science. And that's just, it's an absolutely beautiful thing to be able to look at the world around you and gather up a little bit more wonder than you have the day before. One of the things about this that I absolutely love is, like it said, it's now possible to read things that were written 2,000 years ago. that there would have been no possibility of reading. And they tried for centuries to find a way to be able to read these things. That's the culmination of the work of probably thousands of human beings over the course of centuries, if not tens of thousands, trying to figure out a way to do this. That's staggeringly epic for an achievement as human accomplishments go. Yeah, I think that's where I can leave that.
Okay. Who else wants to take this?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about it too. And you know, it's weird that you say that I would argue with you on that, because the thoughts that I was having on that was, I can remember when I was younger, and it just seemed like innovation came around the corner and you couldn't stop it, and it was coming, and it was almost coming too fast.
Yeah.
Because life was just getting so much better, so much faster, with new computers, new game consoles, new games, new software, new ways of using your stuff. People were coming up. There were products being sold in stores to deal with the flaws of the products that you were buying. Like, if you had a problem with something, just wait a year. There's probably a solution. A solution probably came out for it. And this is still true even in computers, right? When you're trying to do retro stuff, like I'm regularly patching Windows 98 with software that was written in 2017. You know, there was a time when in the 2000s where it just seemed like free updates, free improvements, support was just a given. And the innovations were positive. They were never like, oh, wow, you never had to have the thought that, like, oh, wow, this will be used to ruin my life.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't really until social media came around and the obvious point of it, because people didn't think it through too much or thought it through too much, was for the point of destroying you psychologically, to manipulate your consumption habits, to waste your time on doom scrolling, to make you depressed.
Well, yeah, that's part of the problem with social media is evil people will manipulate it to their ends, whether greed or perverse psychological pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah, in particular, I remember when LiDAR became miniaturized and was able to be used for like archaeological digs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The LiDAR is probably the other great invention of the 21st century. What the fuck's wrong with my brain? Because it can see through like jungles, and you can see the patterns of the buildings built underneath, even if there's no stones left behind. Just the impressions, the density that's increased in the density of the ground is different there and whatnot. And you could entire cities have been exposed around, say, Central America, in Central American jungles, because they were able to see that. And now we know so much more about the decay of the Mayan Empire in the pre-medieval period. You know, like post, in like the 700s to 900s, and when they hit their height. And then by the time that 1200 came around, they were basically collapsing in on themselves. And we can start to put the pieces together. We can actually go to those places and see what they actually look like up close, and then add that to our models. And oh my God, this is exactly the sort of advancement I was hoping for from AI, especially in the early days when AI, before it got lobotomized by any major company, or it was being fed medical information, right? Early versions of ChatGPT, and it was finding small different differentiations in bone structure between races that we had never seen before. It was able to identify patients correctly because of that.
Come to find out, there's actually a lot of truth in physiognomy, despite it not being a hard science. There's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, we already knew there were slight differences in, like, in race, obviously. Even if some people don't want to talk about that.
I mean, within the same race, like, certain skull shapes and eye, teeth, and jaw
structure.
Placement being indicative of certain personality traits. Like, obviously, it's never 100%, but it is a good guideline.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen the side-by-sides of Shiloh Hendricks and Lindsay Clancy at this point.
But
hey, don't spoil my memes before we see them.
My God, I am as much of a Romaboo as anyone. This makes me excited. This is
Yeah,
the
I love this.
ancient
I've told the
texts.
story about the Herculaneum papyri for.
I'm looking forward to seeing what all is unearthed by that. And a lot of people in chat are saying because it's of that time period in Rome, it's all going to be warning about the Jews because Emperor Hadrian just did what he did.
Yeah,
it's going to be funny. It's like I can see these kids in Italy working on deciphering these scrolls, and it's like, huh, this is interesting. Yeah. If I'm translating this correctly, it says every single time. What did they mean by this?
This papyri. It says you're a pussy.
Your mom is a no.
See, Apple, we can recover the data.
One of the things I really hope is that they find one that hasn't been messed with at all, and the very last words on it are basically a quick accounting of what's happening as Vesuvius is erupting, and it just ends with, well, frig.
Oh my god. I've got a former coworker that must be like shitting her pants right now because she studied ancient Greek. And,
oh wow.
Yeah, she want to know what this is. Like she would want to release it this post-H so she could translate it.
Yeah. I mean, that might be the kind of person to put in touch with the people doing this project, because that's a fairly small talent pool, I'm willing to bet.
Well, let me ask Pomen. Pomen, you've worked in a lot of spheres that I haven't worked in professionally.
Yes.
Do you see any valid, useful applications of AI that can improve any facets of science or business that you've worked in?
No.
No.
And no. And through all of this, I'm hearing clapping seals about the dooming of their own lives. Like, I'm sorry, but even though, yeah, I'm on a pooper with a phone in my hand and all that, that's okay. No, it's a death. It's death.
That's funny.
It's death.
Is that where that echo comes from?
Yes, exactly. No, but my computer. I call my computer the pooper because it always poops up. But no, but no, it is the death of everything. So the entire goal towards this technological advancements, and I'm going to be a bit landing here, is towards what can be defined as the singularity. It's sort of a one control point, as in like all information gathered. All in control of technology and the rest. But there is a very clear outcome for the singularity, which is that it will turn off. Which means all that has been saved. I mean, we see now that they're destroying books to gather into data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you will never return. That information is now destroyed forever. And because the singularity, as in all these, it will break.
Okay.
So it can be a tool, of course, but the tool leads towards our destruction in the end.
Okay. So you have the sort of Ted Kaczynski take.
Yes, because he's 100% correct.
Yeah. Like I like Ted. He had a lot of smart things to say. He also is in the memes tonight. So we'll get some Uncle Ted action in the memes tonight.
All right, good.
I'd just like to point out that Uncle Ted would have been nothing without the technological advancements of the hoodie and sunglasses.
I mean, the Theodore, he knows that it's going to break, but he knows what's going to go back to sort of circular civilizational patterns that he talks about.
Yeah. But for the record, I don't think he's wrong. I think he's right.
Yeah. But he's just worried what will be, because people are becoming dumber. Sort of we're over reliant on something we shouldn't be. We have a lot of the ancient traditions, or like that has been passed on by generation for a long time. It's all disappeared.
Yeah, obviously you shouldn't destroy the hard copies.
Yeah,
which we
agreed. And I'm sort of skeptical and pessimistic by nature, but I try to look on the bright side. Like 3 and I talk about tech a lot and how, it can change us, but good people and bad people are what determine what technology does. And one of the things that makes me sort of pessimistic is it seems like it's never the right people in power. It's always negative, hostile, greedy, selfish people that end up in power. And precisely. So that is why I fall more on the Uncle Ted side of things, is because no amount of good wishes and wanting to build a better culture and be a good father, be a good mother, be a good church leader, that kind of stuff. No amount of that leads you to having power like just some Machiavellian asshole that doesn't care to steal and kill his way to the top.
And the thing
Those are the people that get to utilize the heights of these technologies. And so that's why I think Uncle Ted wrote the way he did.
Yeah. And the thing with Papa Ted is that he's not inherently against like space travel. No, he strongly believes we should come there. We should all of this that is currently happening should be happening, but not now because we're not ready for it. So he always talks about like longer stretches of time because ebbs and flows in civilization always happens. But because we're doing everything right now without thinking about what's to come, the crash is going to be ungodly. It's going to be hell on Earth.
Yeah, space travel and stuff is cool, but like I think that we have civilizationally, we have a lot of things that we should tackle first. Like I don't think
we can. Space travel is not the biggest thing that we can do that, but I mean AI and it's like a lot of ungodly things, more or less. Same thing with that back in the day, but yeah.
Well, let's go ahead. We had fun with this one, but we have one more dragon to get to before we get out of here. So let's go ahead and move on from here. Let's see what we have. Anything? All right. I'm not seeing any paid chats. I will check again before we get out of here. So let's go ahead and look at that final dragon of the evening. We'll bid adieu to this beautiful white and go back to the topics. The last one is, of course, War Never Ending from the red dragon. And, of course, it's going to be about ugly war stuff. So, Ardent Party, you're the party leader. Since there's only one dragon left, the choice is, do you want to be the one to answer it, or do you want to pass that off to a party member?
I am going to pass it off to Pomen because I believe the featured guest should suffer the most.
All right. Here we go. Russia threatens Britain with consequences over drones supplied to Ukraine. Russia has threatened Britain with quote-unquote consequences after reports that British-made drones were used by Ukraine to strike targets deep inside Russian territory. The Russian embassy in London accused the UK of escalating the war after reports that drones manufactured by two British companies were deployed in Ukraine's recent long-range attacks. I think they're hitting oil facilities or something. I think that's what the recent ones were. London's actions will inevitably carry consequences for which it will have to answer, the embassy said. The deeper its involvement in the conflict, the greater its support for Kiev's terrorist machinery, the higher price it will pay. Blah, blah, blah. War machine bluster. Prime Minister Andy Burnham rejected the warning on Tuesday, saying Britain would continue to support Ukraine, and then he says a bunch of dumb stuff, takes a shot at Putin, blah, blah, blah. The Ministry of Defense has not confirmed whether British-made drones were used in the latest strikes. It said Russia should have no doubt about the resolve of this government, meaning the UK government, to stand against Russian aggression in Ukraine and against UK or our allies. And of course, we all know what's been going on with Ukraine and Russia. No need to recap that. In June of this year, the government announced that the UK would provide 150,000 Ukrainian-produced drones by the end of 2026. Britain also committed more than 350 air defense missiles and radars under the same package. And that's really all we need to read about this, because the question, well, actually, we'll get to the question in a minute. The dragon is this fierce boy here. The red with us tonight is on one of the many war councils of the Great Dragon Empire, and he has personally overseen several successful expansion and acquisition campaigns. He chose this topic tonight to ask us about the intention and outcomes of the invested parties. So, Pomen, do you think the UK, the EU, or the US intend on open war with Russia? Do you think the outcome of the war in Ukraine will culminate and settle soon, or is it leading us to larger conflict?
Good question. Not war with Russia. I mean, that's already happening, obviously. The war with Russia is already there. But the latest, ever since Lindsey Graham died, they lost a lot of their, well, the man in Congress, more or less.
Indeed.
I was pushing a lot of this. So we saw that, what's the name? The genuinely ugly-faced Jewess went to Ukraine.
Chrystia Freeland?
No, a woman. Christopher, I don't know who that is.
That's
They're all ugly, but
Deputy Prime
seriously,
Minister.
like she's like in the right wing with Trump. Whatever. She went and had an interview with Zelensky.
Oh, Laura Loomer.
Laura Loomer, thank you. Because what Israel wanted to do, they want to use. Well, they want to make Ukraine an offensive war against Iran, if possible, or at least get as much help from Ukraine as possible against the war in Iran. That's why they have done so much positive campaigning in Ukraine for the moment by, for example, stating that there's a battalion. The Nazi symbolism is just it doesn't mean anything, guys. It's like, okay, what? But it's just to get the war on a bigger offensive, or try to get men from Ukraine to go to Israel and fight in Iran if possible.
Yep.
Nah, it's not working out. With the drone thing, that's just with the Russia drone thing. So the UK always had a very active role in the war in Ukraine. They've had always not foot on the ground, but intelligence and assets in the east. I don't know why Anglos are the way they are. They're just weird creatures, but they've always been involved there.
We learned it from you.
No, you didn't. You did not. It's your own thing. Anyways, that's besides the point. The drone strike is just because Andy Burnham is new, so they're just trying to provoke. See how Andy Burnham will react towards sort of this sort of military aggression, because there is still activity in Ukraine by the UK, British services in one way or another. But they just want to see how Andy Burnham reacts.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was just a geopolitical maneuver to prod the new PM and see how he would react. That's what I think it was too.
Yeah, it most likely is. Is he overreacting? Is he emotional towards it? Is he saying, "Yeah, we did it," or like, what is he doing? He's doing what he objectively should be doing, which is like, nah, and then he's going with his life.
Yeah. So, final question then. The second part. Yeah. What do you think the outcome is, and where do you think this is headed?
I don't know. Longer war. It's no peace in sight. Not even close.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree.
And again, I mean, with American backing because of their failure in Iran, they will keep it for another 5 years if they could. They don't care. They don't care about the dead people. It was funny, actually. Insanely enough, so you guys might have seen on Twitter many times the people kidnapping sort of young men in Ukraine and dragging them off to be recruited.
Yeah.
So usually you can point out and say, propaganda, whatever. It happened in front of one of our reporters. Here's a Swedish reporter. He was talking about, there was usually like, bombing in Kiev, blah, blah, whatever. There's always something happening. A drone strike there, drone strike here. As they were doing the interview, they kidnapped the guy in the back. As he was doing, like, talking about the drone strike, they kidnapped the guy. So, like, oh gosh, they do it so openly. It's not even hiding it anymore. It's like, it's just a sad state of affairs in that entire country. But no, it's not in this sight, because the Ukrainians have adapted. They're war people, so that's what you get for living in the steppe. So they'll survive for a long time.
All right, let's move on to someone else then. Ardent 3, what do you guys think?
I will be extremely quick because I don't have a lot to say about this topic. Do I think the UK, the EU, or the US intend on war with Russia? Hell no. I think it's the shadowy hats. But
I don't think it's just them. I think it's the entire Zionist war machine complex.
Yeah, obviously there are people who are greedy and profiteering on it as well.
Yeah.
Zelensky. But do I think the outcome of the war in Ukraine will culminate and settle soon, or lead to a larger conflict? I don't see it leading to a larger conflict. I think at this point, if it was going to expand, it probably would have. What I see happening at this point is, if someone doesn't force Zelensky to sign a deal, it's going to be a case of, okay, then someone is going to get Zelensky removed. He's clearly the only roadblock to peace at this point. It's Zelensky himself.
Yeah.
And someone has to offer him asylum and get him out of that country or get him removed from power. And at that point, it'll basically be a de facto, okay, the lines that currently exist are the lines that remain. So Russia ends up with whatever territory it's got already. Maybe makes a few concessions.
Like, I would agree earlier on in the war with you there, but Ukraine's just become a very autonomous, also battle state. So even with Zelensky gone, they have created an internal system that just would work in itself.
That's fair, but the problem there is that
hasn't Ukraine always been kind of a fake country anyway? Because it was always half Russian and half Polish anyway. Like,
kind of, yeah. But the problem they have now is that they're missing so many of their former male citizens that they're going to have to import people from elsewhere. So Ukraine is gone regardless.
Well, hey, maybe Putin will just march in and be like, "Hey, Ukraine's destroyed. Hey, Poland, why don't you take the west half? We'll take the east half." Like, that'd be cool.
In the 40s.
No, that won't happen. It can't.
I'm just being silly. I don't think that'll really happen.
The based Poles put up a whole new fence to shoot people through. That'd be great.
Well, anything else on this one, or shall we just wrap it up? Three, do you have anything?
I don't have a whole lot to say that hasn't already been said. We know that they want war and for stupid reasons, and they think the Chuds will fight it for them, and they won't. They're not actually going to get what they want. I mean, if they were really trying at it, they'd have it by now.
All right. Well, I also have very little hopeful predictions about that mess. I think that because of my evil government and the ridiculous mind control that it has over the uninformed chuds of the country, that it will not take very much effort at all to drum up endless war effort from the populace of the United States, unfortunately. And so if the war does escalate, I don't see there being any shortage of manpower from the U.S. side of the Zionist war machine. And unfortunately, it just seems like people with money and influence want there to be forever war with everyone. And that's why it will probably continue until the machine falls apart. It's just unfortunate, but I think that's true. Well, we are going to look at some funnies now. But before we do funnies, I would like to... Oh, I forgot to put up my treasure card. Oops. Treasure for tonight.
He is now.
I would like some monies, yes. But I do want to have a little something somber here for a moment. Today is the anniversary of Ruby Ridge. This is 34 years ago God, so long ago now, in 1992.
Yeah.
Randy Weaver had his entire family killed by the feds. They shot his dog. They shot his son in the back after shooting his dog. And then they shot his wife on accident. They wanted to kill him, but they killed his wife. They wanted to either imprison him for life or execute him. But miraculously, he won in a court battle and then proceeded to sue the government and settled for a large sum of money. Just like how excuse me. Where's my thing? Let me pull this up. I still have it. There we go.
This is you. This is your sister, your wife, your daughter. But this right here is you. This is your...
Just like he said about Charlie Kirk. Randy Weaver is you. You listening to this right now. Whether you're male or female, whether you're sitting in UK or Canada or the United States. This is you. This is your family. And this horrible, anti-white, disgusting war machine full of greedy, awful cunts who, unfortunately, are mostly members of my race and ethnicity. They want you dead if you say no to them or don't want to drink their poison. And I think we should remember this kind of shit and keep it alive. It's important. And today's the 34th anniversary of this horrible, anti-white tragedy perpetrated by the U.S. government against this man. All right. That's all I have to say on that. So let's move on. dovetailing nicely with that is this. And as you can see, I told you Uncle Ted would come up. This is the Uncle Ted picture behind this. This is from Reddit, of course. My toddler almost never addresses me as mom or mommy. He only does it when he's angry or annoyed. I know he can, he just doesn't. This morning, he was following me around, calling me Dex Ba over and over and over, holding my face, mouth in front of my eyes, addressing me. Finally, he said, Dex Ba, pay baby shock. I realized what was going on. My mother installed a Fire TV cube for Christmas, and my kid was calling me Alexa and telling me to play Baby Shark. This is his first complete verbal request to me, and he thought I was Alexa on his
awesome.
grandmother's Fire TV cube.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, again, throw another quarter in the Uncle Ted was right jar, please.
Yep.
All right. Now, this is some funny here. Check this out. The Telegraph deleted without fanfare the word living from the headline of Stephen Daisley's article on Professor Ardent. Today, it just reads, Jason Ardent is proof that you reap what you sow. And I just think that's funny. That's funny because they don't intend it the way that we take it. And I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, it is absolutely hilarious.
All right.
Oh, God.
At this point, babies would be safer with the Goblin King Jarrett than any liberal woman in the U.S.
Fair. Ladies, I don't want to call you demonic, but it's getting hard not to.
All right. Let me drop the branding so it's easier to see the memes here. There we go. All right, next. When she chose the bear, but the bear has to protect the children from her postpartum depression.
Oh, that's perfect.
I like this one. Full term. Next, you'll be defending killing toddlers. Literally, no one would say that. And then,
yeah, that's slippery, slipping.
It do be slipping. I like how the slippery slope remains the undefeated champion of our side's talking points.
Yep.
Netanyahu. We have survived empires. We are not afraid of Turkey. Erdogan of Turkey. What empire? Your country is younger than my brother.
Damn. BBBTFO.
BBBTFO'd. Here's a good one. I'm sure you guys all saw the migrant instructional pamphlets about how not to rape and shit. So there's been a lot of good fake versions of these coming out lately. I picked two for tonight. In the UK, both people must say yes to beheading. This is called consent. If you behead someone who does not want it, it is a serious crime. If it is still beheading if you are married to the person or in a relationship, you display the head in a video, or the beheaded person did something to annoy you, such as being British and offering you a hotel room for free. If you behead without consent, you could go to prison and be removed from the UK. And then this is my favorite one. Albinos do not have gold nuggets inside their skulls. Attempting to extract them may impact your asylum claim.
Yeah, Big May.
Oh my goodness. All right, next. What radicalized you? This.
Yeah.
This is what radicalized me. When women see a child predator, when men see a child predator, there's old Saint Plosh in the background there.
Yeah.
Based.
Wow. Based.
Why, Gary? Why?
Why, Gary? Why? I like this. This is a good edit.
Oh, yeah, that is good.
And then we have this one. Physiognomy is real. This is literally in a physiognomy book that I studied. This picture, and it looks just like her. Unreliable mother.
It's pretty close.
Pretty close.
The chin needs to be a bit weaker, but yeah.
Yeah. Never forget that Belle in The Beauty of the Beast had no idea Beast could turn human. She was fully prepared to bang him exactly as he was. Now we know what kind of books Belle was reading and why Gaston looked so disgusted when he opened it.
Gaston was the real hero.
And last but not least, remember, guys, vaping is gay because it's training you to suck robot dick.
Oh, I've got to remember this one. Oh, that's glorious.
Speaking of robot dick, look at that image on the right.
Oh wait, what? I missed it. What?
Yeah, look at it again. Pull it up again.
Hold on. Let me pull it
Silo.
back up. Let me pull it back up. Oh yeah, good catch. Good catch. Yep. I just saw a tower, but no, you're totally right. All right. So let me check for paid chats because we are at the end of the stream. And we do have one from Dissident Knight. Good old Dissident Knight, longtime friend of the channel, supporter of mine, for $25 US. Thank you so much, my friend. He says, back to Ardent's Black Dragon question. That was the pugistical wing of the Patel cartel. Same thing is happening in Australia. They're taking over transport, fuel stations, hotels, and local council institutions like driving tests. The Chinese have been doing this for decades. With JEETS, it's a numbers game. At their scale, it's impossible not to notice.
Yep.
Absolutely agree. All right. Let me check other places, make sure we're not leaving anybody out. Thank you to all you lovelies who financially supported me tonight. I deeply appreciate that. So before we get out of here, I would definitely like you guys to go and check out Pomen. Pomen makes interesting videos and has a lot of interesting stuff to say. Pomen, is there anything going on that you'd like to invite people to check out while you're here?
I'm really posted all too much as of late. I've been on hiatus, focusing on other aspects, but I am planning quite a lot. We have documentaries coming out in the end of the year and a few other things like that. So it's quite a lot of work behind the scenes.
Oh, I bet.
Fun, very fun.
Are you traveling for your next documentary, or have you already traveled and captured the footage, and now you just have to put it together?
No, I'm traveling to the Netherlands to film a bit there.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
So do subscribe. There's a lot more content there. There's a lot for everybody to like, to be honest. So do check it out.
Cool.
So is your new documentary about tulips, windmills, or people eating politicians?
One of those things.
Caleb already did a video. Caleb did it.
Well, speaking of shilling, Ardent, you always have stuff to shill. What do you have coming down the pike?
Absolutely do have things to shill. You guys can find me on X, Rumble, and here on YouTube at Ardent Pardy. Over on my Rumble and my X today is the only place you will find my Green Lanterns episode 2 review, because it got a little terms of servicey for YouTube, so I didn't want to take a chance on that. Also on Tuesday I do Terra Nova Tuesday, Wednesday I do Wordsmith Wednesday, Thursday is Thinking Man's Thursday, and Friday is Fandom Friday. Fandom Friday and Superhero Saturday are now the only days where I stream, and Superhero Saturday is me building an aspirational heroism comic book universe, because I am sick to death of watching Hollywood and mainstream media just deconstruct and destroy all the things that I grew up looking at and going, God, I wish I was as cool as that.
Okay, that sounds cool. 3, is there anything you want to show before we get out of here?
Yeah, actually, I want to show Mike Tech again, because he dropped a great video with a Dell workstation with dual Pentium 3s in it.
Okay.
It's good shit, man.
I believe you. Do you have the link? Is it in the chat?
Yeah, I did.
It's in the private chat. Oh, it's in the
yes.
Chat. Okay, gotcha. Okay, here we go. Give me just a second. There we go. All right, the link is in the chat. Definitely check that out if you like tech stuff. And a reminder, before Artie and Fist tomorrow night, come watch me play the original Biohazard. It is known as the terrible name of Resident Evil in the West, unfortunately. But that is a great old game, and hopefully you guys will all enjoy watching me bumble through it, because I have not played that game in almost 30 years and have forgotten everything about it other than how weird, silly, and interesting it is. So I am going to be streaming at least once, if not twice a week for the rest of the year, practicing streaming video games for you. So I hope that you come and watch that. Come over between 3:30 and 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, and we'll play together for a couple hours before Artie and Fist tomorrow night.
Speaking of Artie and Fist, I should also point out that I mod for them, and I also mod for Clown-Based Lifeforms on Thursdays.
Indeed you do. And definitely check that out too. It's good times. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you to all my lovelies in the chat for being here. I look forward to seeing you back again next week for more Discordant Dragons. Next week is a special Discordant Dragons because Tim Murdoch, the one and only guy who created the anti-racism means anti-white meme and who runs White Rabbit Radio will be my featured guest next week, along with Artie and Fist. So Artie and Fist themselves will be here next week with Tim Murdoch of White Rabbit Radio. It'll be a great stream next week. So definitely tune in for that one. And I will see you lovelies hopefully tomorrow for my gaming stream. God bless and good night.
Good night, everybody.
But
Good
does the
night,
Resident Evil have a green card?